We are live. We are recording. And here we go.
Welcome to the Tom Bernard Show with the family and
Andy Brant Bernard.
Kristyn Burtt.
Diana Pierce.
We're switching it up today.
I'm surrounded by talent. It's all you in front of me. She's beside me. Andy behind me.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So I do have to announce today, this is very important if you're a Minnesotan, Rocco Baldelli got fired.
Who?
The manager of the Minnesota. What do you mean who? Only my son.
I'm guessing Minnesota, the next word is going to be a sports team.
I'm going to say twins.
That's why I
I'll say
don't.
twins.
Yeah.
Minnesota Twins.
Wow, even Kristyn knows that one.
Yeah. Well, I know this is the end of the baseball season, so this would
Right.
people would get fired.
That makes sense. That's fair enough.
You know what's interesting about that, honestly, is that Alex has always been into sports and all that kind of stuff, and Andy
Kinda.
never has.
Yeah. When I was on the air,
Mhm.
I was, because of working with all the sports guys and stuff like that,
Oh,
I could
yeah.
tell you what was going on, or at least far more with it. But I haven't been on the air since 2016, and so I just have lost track of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
10 years almost.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No wonder
Seems
you
like-
look younger. You have to put up with their crap anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
That business, Kristyn, please jump in on this as well, because it seems, well, I suppose radio and television are kind of dropping off the face of the earth anyway. Do people watch local news anymore?
I see the replays. I see the little bits and pieces on
right.
YouTube.
Right.
You know, it's like you're in the sweet spot, with
Mhm.
podcasts, because that's where everybody's going for news. Is podcasts.
That's true.
Yeah, that's very true now.
You know.
So you got radio, it's got all kinds of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't understand why radio did what they did. They get rid of all these people, men and women who had an opinion and had an edge to them about their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't exist anymore.
Because hedge funds don't want risky.
Well,
They want safe. They want 1% growth per year.
They're going to want AI in about 2 years. So
Yeah.
And so this is something I just read yesterday. A lot of new cars don't even have an AM channel.
That's true.
No, they don't. Yeah.
It's
The
just
AM antenna, they're
FM.
getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Just FM. Yeah, it's all true. You know what's really funny about that? I suppose it's because I was in the business for so many years. I never listen to the radio when I'm in my car.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. I never do.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just, listen to the silence. It's wonderful.
Well, it is wonderful, isn't it?
It is.
For the
Yeah.
longest time, I drove in complete silence.
Yeah.
I didn't turn on the radio. I didn't listen to a
Exactly.
No,
podcast or anything.
I get distracted. Of course, I've got my little mapper, telling me where to go most of the
Mhm.
time. And so, if I have it on, I got to turn it off as soon as I start hearing directions that make me miss the turn. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Kristyn, we got a couple listener
Here we go.
requests I told you about before the show started. Do you know anything? Well, so you said this very young Frankenstein, one of the listeners wanted to hear about.
yes.
You said
So
it's
that
which I could not believe.
Well, he did
yeah,
young
he's
time.
He did, but he was young himself,
Well, he's 100,
relatively
that's
speaking.
true.
He's 99 years old.
Yeah.
That's true.
When does he turn 100? He turns 100 in June, so he's not that far off.
Yeah,
Wow.
to quote a line from a movie a long time ago, I'll have what he's having.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well, exactly.
he's going to
99
be like
years old.
Norman Lear. Norman Lear produced TV up until his passing. So I think
Right.
it's what's
Yes.
keeping him young and making him feel purposeful.
Norman Lear was 101, so there you go.
Yeah. I think
Pretty
that's
good.
good. If you want to do it, and it's keeping you young, that's great.
Absolutely.
I also
So
think of
there you
Dick Van Dyke, another person. I think he's 99
Yeah.
and he stays very physically active.
I
Yeah.
always liked him.
Very young
Yeah.
Frankenstein. The only person here I know is Zach Galifianakis, who I'm not
Yeah.
Yeah.
a huge fan of, but
My daughter worked on baskets.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
really?
Yes. Yeah. So for 1 year, she was working with that show. And
Yeah.
Well, we
that
all love
was
Louis.
so fantastic.
Louis was wonderful.
Yes. I have
I
a
miss Louis.
wonderful picture of me and Louis in his trailer. And I was so excited to be able to share that on my social media.
Who's this?
But there we go.
There
Perfect.
he is.
And they put
Oh,
the
yeah,
kibosh
there's
on
the
it like
picture.
2 seconds after they found out that we had a picture taken, because he had his wig on for the new
Oh,
season,
yeah.
and they didn't want people to see the new wig until after the season had
That
started
new
to
wig
air.
premiere. Got to
And
control
it was
that.
like, I don't know, like, 8 months later.
Huh.
And, I still have the picture, and I, to that, I think I put it up when he passed, but it was, again, people saying, no, you can't.
It is a weird situation. There's no
Yeah.
question about it. But yeah, Rocco Baldelli got fired. I don't know who there's a guy named George Columbi or something like that. I can't remember his name.
He was the manager? Rocco?
Rocco was the
Yeah.
manager of the Twins.
So the
yes.
new Twins manager, let's see.
They haven't picked anybody yet.
Oh, they haven't? I thought, who's this, whatever you just said?
He's like, as far as, X and all these people are concerned, he's the guy that should get the job. He's the bench manager for the Detroit Tigers.
Oh,
His name is George. I can't remember his last name.
Is he from here?
I don't think
Detroit
so. But
Tigers,
he's very
George.
smart. He's really smart. So that's a pretty big deal, Kristyn, because this team has sucked for 34 years.
how long has Rocco been the manager?
About since, I believe, 19 or 20.
Yeah, I think they
That's
said
about
20,
right.
something like
20?
something I read. I
That's
think,
probably
yeah.
20, yeah.
19, as in 2019 or 19 years?
No, as in 20 years.
Oh, well.
Right? No, wait, that couldn't be right.
No,
That
I think
couldn't be
it's
right.
20. I think it is 20. I think he started in 2020, I think.
He started in, let's see if anyone in the chat can beat me. 2019.
Oh, it's 2019.
Okay.
George
All right.
Lombard, says Margaret.
George Lombard.
That's
That's
who you're
exactly
thinking.
who I'm talking about. Margaret,
Okay.
what do you think? Should we get George Lombard?
George Lombard.
I think it's absolutely
They're all
necessary.
talking Dancing with the Stars. I'm reading the chat.
Oh,
so
I like it.
Oh,
Is that
yeah,
what
there was a lot
Rocco
going on
Baldelli-
in Dancing with the Stars last night. That's why.
God, you know what I love?
7 years.
Seven,
Yeah,
so
7
Does that
years.
sound right?
7 years. You know what I love about this is I look down and you follow their conversation. That is
Mhm.
very cool that you can follow the whole conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Margaret pushes
It'll
everybody.
have nothing to do with you.
No, well, that's true. But yeah, that's
A
for
lot of
once-
the time,
for
yes.
once,
And
that's
I'm sure Tom was watching Dancing with the Stars last night, but it's turning out to be a buzzy season. That's why everyone's talking about it.
So is that what urban divorce refers to?
No,
Yeah.
that's the other thing. Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman are divorcing. So we got two topics going on that are
Oh.
probably top of mind in terms of entertainment that we can talk about if people want to talk about it.
Who's getting divorced?
Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman.
I'm
Who's
trying to picture Keith Urban.
Yeah,
I can't even.
I-
He is a country singer. He's got
Yeah.
flat
Oh.
ironed hair, split
Right.
down the middle.
About a foot shorter than Nicole.
Yeah.
Is he
And
really?
allegedly is having an affair with his 23-year-old guitarist. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
You shouldn't
you know,
do that.
Taylor's
Well,
old his
here's-
time.
I read this that he wrote a song for Nicole, and he's already changed the lyrics for her
Uh-oh.
on stage.
That's
the guitar
correct.
player.
It's the
You know,
song The Fighter that was written about their personal conversations, Nicole and Keith, early on in their relationship when Nicole was helping him with his sobriety. And
Right.
then he's already changed it to the name of the guitarist.
That's messed up.
And the guitarist posted the clip. So that's what really started the whole like snowballing of like, oh, is this allegedly the woman he's having the affair with? Because he also fired his longtime band. He's been with his band for like 20 years and he
Ooh.
fired all of them in January and then all of a sudden hired this young guitarist. So
Oh God.
I know.
I have a question about that whole situation. Men, women, whatever the deal is. So you meet someone, you date for a long time, you decide maybe we should get married. And then a few years later, when it all falls apart, what happens? Kathryn and I have been together for 45 years and I can't really complain about much.
Well,
You
you're
know?
not a famous rock star who's
Yeah, but I would
Well, he's a
think
country
Geez.
singer.
travel between her filming
Yeah.
and his tour.
yeah, they're probably
Yeah.
never together.
Yeah.
You
Probably,
know,
yeah,
that
might be.
probably put a big
Still doesn't
stress on that one.
excuse it, but I
But
mean,
also, he's been very testy over the last 2 years about discussing his wife in interviews. His career is kind of right now is on the
Oh,
downside of it,
there you
and
go.
hers is still rising.
Yeah.
And there's been, and there's plenty of video evidence. If you go and look, there's a Ryan Seacrest interview. There's one with the Sunday Times out of the UK. There was an Australian radio outlet. He will just shut down the outlet. He does not want to talk about his wife whatsoever and her success or their marriage. And I think that there may have been some sort of maybe midlife crisis, mid-career crisis of his wife succeeding and him having a dip. And that's hard when you have two artists in a marriage.
Yeah, tough to know, but yeah.
I could see that's
Yeah.
probably true.
Yeah.
You know, I've asked Kathryn many, many times to get, like turn on me and all the rest of it and all. She's like, I'd love to, but I just, we have kids.
But she's really grounded.
Oh yeah. Kathryn is very
Yeah.
well grounded.
Yeah.
She's something. I adore the woman.
Yeah.
I tell you, we've been together 45 years and I love her now more than I ever did.
Yeah.
Because you've been through all of that stuff,
Right.
having two great kids. Did you hear that, Andy? I called you a great kid.
Two great kids.
Two great kids. Alex is on Fridays.
Yeah.
But I mean, if that's your goal in life, because it was from the time I was, watching my mom and dad go through all that whole deal. And I decided literally at 7, 8 years old, when I get married, I'm staying married. I'm not going through all this.
Mhm.
This is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you made a great choice, obviously. So there you go.
He didn't though, because he was hauled away in a straitjacket. But other than that,
Oh, well. No, I'm talking about you and Kathryn. You
well, I
made the
could have
great
been hauled
choice.
away in
Yeah.
a straitjacket maybe a couple of times.
Yeah.
No, Kathryn is just, she's a wonderful person. Unfortunately, she's ill this morning, but yeah, you wouldn't want to piss her off.
Yeah.
I'm well aware of that. Well aware of that whole deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope she feels better soon. Yeah.
I do too. So what else is happening, Kristyn Burtt?
Well, I just wanted to answer a couple of questions in the comment because they were asking about Dancing with the Stars, Robert Irwin. I think Darren was asking about Robert Irwin, who is Steve Irwin's son, and pretty much is being set up to win that Mirrorball trophy. So I think that's one thing. But they had him rip off his shirt last night, so I think everyone is going a little crazy about that while he was dancing. And then, of course, our favorite topic, Hilaria Baldwin. Is she causing a lot of trouble in the ballroom? I mean, she's a really good dancer. I think a lot of people are just upset that she's had professional ballroom experience, and we'll see where that goes.
I have a question for you. What the hell's his name? Alec Baldwin?
Mm-hmm.
Alec Baldwin, yep.
How old is he?
I want to say about 68, Andy.
What do you got, Andy?
You are close, 67
Okay.
67.
and a half.
I swear to God, I just saw him on TV last night. I always thought he was older than me, and I'm 73. So,
Well, he's been around forever, it
Like,
feels like.
what's his
Yeah.
face is all saggy and
Well, he's been through a lot of trauma. I mean, after that whole Rust incident, I feel like he aged a decade, honestly. And
Yeah,
it's understandable. And
Good
he's
point.
they have 7 kids. They're all young. They're all under the age of 12. And so you have to financially provide for them. And on
Yep.
top of it, he has numerous civil lawsuits that have not been settled because
really?
of Rust. And he's going to have to pay those out because
Oh.
likely it's not going to come on his side, just based on the evidence and everything else. The criminal charges have been dropped and it doesn't look like they're pursuing him, but civilly, he is probably going to be held liable.
If she has to tell him about that, which accent will she use?
She code switches.
She does.
She
No doubt.
does. She code switches all the time.
I saw
Sometimes it's Spanish. Sometimes it's weird because she's from Boston, and sometimes it actually sounds like more like a New York accent that she
Yeah,
code switches between.
Yeah, no question about it. It's just, I don't know. She gets very whipped up, but he dropping the N-bomb out in the street, and I'm like, what is that all
Alec
about?
Baldwin?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
done it with paparazzi.
yeah.
He's had a long run with the paparazzi and fighting them. Very tumultuous. The page six used to call him the bloviator, which used to make me laugh. I don't know why they gave him
That was great. The bloviator.
the bloviator. I don't know where they came up with it, but it was just funny.
It just means liar, doesn't it? To bloviate means to
I
lie.
believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. A bloviator is a liar.
Bloviate.
But I think that they're really trying to turn the tide around and then, the narrative around their marriage, around the Rust situation, around her Spanish controversy. They did their TLC reality show, which was very produced. But there's no word on if they're getting a season 2. So I think that's why she is here on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand. Why don't you focus on your family? Everybody goes, God, you spend a lot of time with your family. Yeah, that's how I pretty much stayed out of prison. To be honest.
I just think they both have to work. They have an expensive life.
yeah.
They have a house out in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
They've got a house in Vermont. They've got a townhome in Manhattan, and you've got 7 young kids. And I'm sure they're going to private school, right?
Well, how young are we talking?
Young.
12 and under. Like
Wow, really?
there's
Yes.
babies
Wow.
sitting in the audience with them, like toddlers.
So what? He
Ooh.
started having kids at like 45.
This was second ground.
Oh,
Remember, his first wife was Kim Basinger.
Right.
And yeah, that
Oh,
is where he
that's
had
right.
daughter Ireland. And we heard
Right.
that really awful
Oh,
voicemail.
yeah.
And he's a grandfather too, because Ireland is now a mother. So
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's old enough to be grandpa to all of these kids.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
God bless
arguably.
him to having enough energy to chase all those kids around.
I know sometimes
It's-
Melissa and I discuss having a third, and I'm like, I'm going to be 40 soon. I don't know.
Nah.
And you got people out there in their 50s, like, yeah, sure, let's have a 12th.
Have the
Well,
12th
God
kid.
bless him.
Do what you can, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then another person wanted to hear about our thoughts on the Simpsons movie 2. They're making another Simpsons movie, if
Yep.
you can believe it.
I just want to make a quick note on Very Young Frankenstein, because I don't think we ever finished the conversation.
Oh,
It's a
not
pretty
really.
stacked cast, Andy. So just so people know, Kamal Nanjiani's in it. Carrie Elwes, I know everyone knows him from Princess Bride. Obviously, Zach Galifianakis. It's been ordered to pilot, so it's going to be a long road ahead for Very Young Frankenstein before we see it. But it is, if it is a series, it will be on FX and eventually Hulu the next day. And Simpsons, they're going to do a second movie, but that is summer of 2027.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So
Well,
these
how
are
many
like,
how many more voice actors are going to be out by then?
well, they're saying everyone's returning. So
I know, but
they're
already
recording
what,
it,
3 or 4?
but they already have a date. That means that they're already recording right now. And they probably
That's
have
true,
done most
yeah.
of the animation. Yeah. Because animated films take so long, because it's slated for July 23rd, 2027.
Do you think this is going to like help them at all? Because I mean, it's been on the downswing for what, 15 years at this point, if not longer.
Well, I mean, all of TV is, but it's still making money for Fox. So I think that
Yeah.
if they're going ahead with a movie, they still see value in the brand.
Yeah.
That's true. I don't know. It's just like a lot of people are just, they want the show to end because it's been going so long and it's overstaying its welcome. I mean, like, I don't know.
But here's
it's
the
not hurting
thing.
anyone, but
Here's the thing. What do you put in its place? Because you need to, if you
Yeah.
put something in the Simpsons place, you need something that's going to either equal the ratings or exceed it. And
good luck.
Good luck.
exactly, good luck.
Mhm.
And that's why it's actually better economically to keep Simpsons in its place.
Yeah, Darren says Apu's not going to be there. Yeah, Lunch Lady Doris is gone. Edna's gone. Who else? There's another one I think that's gone. And like I've heard Marge's voice isn't great anymore.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean that's a voice that like you can only do a couple minutes a day without your throat starting to hurt. I would
Right.
imagine.
It is a great
So I
voice,
don't know
though.
how old. Is that it's Julie Kavner, right?
Yes. Yep.
Julie
and
Kavner,
she
yep.
she's 75, so you know.
Yeah, there's some wear and
Doing
tear
that
on the voice.
for 30 years can't be great for you.
Yeah.
think
I mean,
pretty
they're
much sounds
expecting
like that now,
Homer,
doesn't
Bart, Lisa.
Really.
Honest to God. So we're gonna have anything to watch on TV coming up? That's what I want to know. I've watched a couple of things with Kathryn. The TV right now is not the best it's ever been. I'll tell you that.
I'm looking forward to the Lincoln Lawyer.
Lincoln Lawyer. Yeah. They just announced today. So, well, speaking of Nicole Kidman, they just announced finally season 3 of Lioness.
Mm.
So
Oh, that's good.
that will be
Yeah.
returning to Paramount Plus. Unfortunately, because of Zoe Saldana and Nicole Kidman's schedules, it took long. So they're just going into production this month. So we won't see it until late 2026.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so
Tom keeps bringing up Chad Powers. Do you know anything about that?
Oh yeah, Chad Powers on Hulu with Glenn Powell. You know, I haven't seen it yet, but a couple friends have seen it and said it's very funny and it's not getting much traction, which they thought was surprising because Glenn Powell has been one of the biggest movie stars over the last few years, you know, at the box office. And I think maybe people are thinking it's too goofy, but I kind of also feel like this is the perfect time for a comedy. Like the world is so serious.
Oh yeah.
Might as well go and lean into something silly and fun.
He was a star quarterback at a college school, and then he ruined his reputation somehow, and then put on prosthetics and a wig to join a smaller school. And that's the idea.
What?
So it's like
It's like
I
a
don't know.
goofy. It feels like the Farrelly brothers kind of goofy, where you have like lots
yeah.
of costumes and wigs and
Yeah.
that
Yep.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you could see that. It's just, I don't know. Kathryn and we've been watching pretty good shows. That there's not a huge new influx of really good television. Some of it's good, and most of it though is not very good. I don't know what that's all about.
It's been.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have the budget. We have less content now. They're not doing the mass quantity that we used to see because Hollywood's in a contraction, which we've talked about for many, many years, but you're really feeling it now. You're feeling it now. Even in this time of the fall premiere, it feels like things are trickling out a lot slower than they used to. One of the big premieres this week will be Ryan Murphy's Ed Gein. He does Monster. It was the Menendez brothers. Yeah. It's Ed Gein with Charlie Hunnam. So that's going to be, he's fascinated with serial killers. So,
you know what's amazing about that name, Ed Gein? I was a little boy when we found out about that. That was in Wisconsin. It wasn't in Minnesota, but it was, very, very close. And I kept thinking to myself, so you just go, I'm like 7 years old. I'm like, so you just go and kill people? That's for really no reason. Why are you killing people? And there's really no reason for you to do it. I just didn't understand at 7 years old how the brain could be that far down the road.
Well, he was wearing people's skins, so
Yeah, well, you should have lived in our house. Honestly, I think I knew about murder and that stuff at the time I was 2.
Well, he was apprehended when you were 6, so
yeah. No, I thought I was 7. I was only 6.
Yeah, he was apprehended when you were 6. Maybe they shielded you from it until you had got into 2nd grade.
Yeah. Well,
when the trial came out.
Oh, that probably
later.
Actually, yeah, that would make sense.
Did Alfred Hitchcock do a movie based on him? Somebody did, I know.
Ooh, I don't think it was Hitchcock.
But wasn't Hitchcock?
That too gory, I think, for Hitchcock.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the kind of thing Hitchcock would do.
I couldn't see though some of Hitchcock's films until I was in college. I mean, that's how I didn't want to be that frightened.
So the suspense, just because a lot of it's off screen, actually, it's a great device because in your head you use your imagination and think about what could happen. Lurking.
Yeah, there's no question about that. But so it sounds like there's a lot of good stuff coming out. I mean, you mentioned a number of things, and they all sounded pretty good.
Oh, Dave just said Silence of the Lambs was based on.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. And Wearing of the Skins, that's Buffalo Bill, yep, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of disgustingness there, but I was like, Ryan Murphy gets a little too into the serial killer stuff. I mean, when I was watching Dahmer, I think I got halfway through the series, and I said, I am not sleeping at night. And I'm someone who watches Dateline, so I'm like, this is too graphic. I can't do it, even though Niecy Nash in that series, I think she won the Emmy for it. She was outstanding.
God, Jeffrey Dahmer just popped into my head because you were saying that another Wisconsin boy. Andy, who was the comedian that was on when that first broke? It was a comedian. He's dead now, unfortunately. He died very, very young.
I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember his name. I guarantee you someone in chat will say it because they know what story you're thinking of.
They definitely
Kevin Meaney. Yep, that's it.
Kevin Meaney. God, you guys are amazing. Honest to God.
You are.
What happened to Kevin Meaney?
3 in a row. Thank you all. So we're sitting, and all this information's coming in, and I'm reading it about, they found a heart in the refrigerator and he was frying up some lungs or whatever it was. And Kevin Meaney said, well, he's slaughtering people and cutting them up in his house. And I mean, if he ever leaves and I have to turn it over to somebody else, I'll walk in and go, this carpet's gotta go. I said, yes, I would imagine it does all have to go.
Yeah.
I would imagine you would just burn the house.
Well, no, it was an apartment building.
Burn the apartment building then.
Burn the whole apartment building.
I wonder actually, what did they? Does someone live there?
It was an apartment building, and that place was a mess, according to like the Ryan Murphy. It was bad,
so.
and the smells coming out were.
Oh.
Kevin Meaney passed of a heart attack. I know some people were asking how
he did. Yeah, he was such a nice man. Just really, really funny. Just a great guy. That's the one thing about this job, and everybody, you guys know this. You cover all these people, and you come in, and they invite you out to dinner, or you go have lunch with them and hang out with. And that's kind of all because of AI gone away, I think. But that was tough when you met all these people coming through the studio and all that stuff. It was about once a month you'd have to face the fact that they had been killed or something because you met so many people.
Yeah.
It opens you up to everything. But Kevin Meaney was a very, very funny guy. No question about that.
All right, I'm looking at the property on Google Street View here. So you Google Dahmer apartment and you get this site called wisconsinhistory.org, which tells you it's 924 North 25th Street in Milwaukee.
Okay.
It says, additional information, serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer lived here in 1991.
It still exists?
I can't tell if this is the apartment building. I think it's been torn down.
Okay.
Because
I'll tell you guys, my niece lived in the sorority house that Ted Bundy killed those girls.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It still exists. They never tore it down.
Yep.
Yes, no, they did tear it down.
Yeah.
They tore down the
They
whole
tore
deal.
49 unit complex only 15 months after he was arrested.
Oh.
Because they were just like, this building is worthless now.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, but why wouldn't a college tear down a Ted Bundy murder site? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's true.
That's I suppose.
That's very, very true.
People they all moved out and they couldn't rent it out. And they were like, all right,
yeah.
lost cause, I
You gotta
suppose.
save that thing.
Yeah.
All the carpet had to go.
All this carpet's gotta go.
All the carpet in the entire building.
Exactly right.
Along with all the bricks and foundation.
I guess so. No question about it. So you have one more minute, Kristyn. Could I ask you
One
a
more
question?
minute. Oh, the other thing we need. Oh, you need to ask me a question. Go ahead.
Well, no, you guys.
No, because what I have to say I can do tomorrow because it's not happening until Friday. Now go ahead.
And it might be me. I don't know. But there was another news little thing about Bill Burr this morning. And I don't know what it is. I don't think he's funny in the least.
I've never been a huge fan of Bill Burr.
Did you ever go see Bill Burr? Or you ever seen him do his stand-up?
I've seen his stand-up just via video clips, but never.
Osmosis. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, were you knocked out by anything?
I mean, he's not one of my favorites. And I do follow comedy. He's not one of my favorites.
Yeah, I just don't understand the Somebody told me he's a billionaire now.
Well, everyone went to the Riyadh Comedy Festival that we talked about last week.
Oh, that's right. The comedy festival.
That's probably where the commentary came up.
Someone posted the contract that they have to sign. Because they just sent it out to every comedian they could think of. And one of the comedians posted the contract on Twitter. They're like, this is what they're having us sign. And it's exactly what you'd expect. It's like, you can't say anything negative about Saudi Arabia or the royal family and that sort of thing. But
kind of deal.
I mean, aren't they getting paid like $5 million just to show up?
I mean, it depends on Kevin Hart is probably making more than, let's say, Bill Burr, but they're all making millions.
That's insane.
Millions.
Yeah, the story that I saw very early this morning was that he's a billionaire. And I know they make a lot of money, but I don't know how.
I think he's a multimillionaire. I wouldn't say he's a billionaire.
There's no way he's a billionaire.
I would have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because he doesn't have any products that he puts on the store shelves or anything like that.
I mean, if you said Kevin Hart's a billionaire, I'd believe that way more than Bill Burr.
Yeah.
No, he's got a Netflix thing going on. Bill Burr does. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He does. Yeah.
Well, we got a text. Ed Gein babysat this guy's dad and his brothers and sisters.
Oh, God. That's nice to hear.
Well, yeah, one of our listeners, apparently his dad was babysat by Ed Gein. So,
God.
It's an interesting connection there.
I don't know. Traumatized for life. We'll have to ask him about that.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're listening right now. So, what do you think about that news? Was it positive or negative?
I mean, it's a nice way to close your segment, talking about people going way off the deep end.
Yeah.
Serial killers and all the good stuff.
And Bill Burr.
Oh, and by the way, this is people get so weird about this, but I was watching a Jasmine Crockett thing this morning. I don't know. I didn't mention that already, did I?
No, you talked about it before the show.
Yeah. Oh, that's before
We're talking about code switching.
Yeah, code switching. The code switching that goes on in politics now is unbelievable because there's several pictures of Jasmine, and I don't watch that stuff, so I don't. Maybe a lot of people do this. Matter of fact, I would assume they do. But she's backstage. She goes, "Okay, so when I go on in a couple of minutes, we're going to talk about this, and this, and we'll take care of that." And all that. All of a sudden, the guy comes up and goes, "Okay, you're on." She goes on stage, and the first thing she does is go, "How y'all doing?" It's like, you change your accent?
Yeah, they all do it too.
They all do that now. What is that?
It reminds me of the first egregious example of that I ever saw, I think, was Hillary Clinton talking about carrying hot sauce around in her purse when she was speaking to Latinos. It's like, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it's kind of patronizing, wouldn't you say? It's like, you people like hot sauce. Well,
okay. Well, but I guess a lot of that is happening now, that people come in and out of these 3-4 different languages.
Oh, I think they all do it. I think Bush, when he went into the South, he put on a lot more of a Southern accent because he is Southern.
Who's that?
Bush.
Bush.
But once he became president, and it's like, you're talking to your people, I guess, but it's like, I don't know. Pick an accent.
If I were running for office in Boston, all of a sudden I'd try and find a Massachusetts accent so that I'm one of the people. It's all a game. It's political theater is all it is.
It is.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's all just a big game. And by the way, you'd have done this. What about your father's strawberries? That's what you would.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm remembers. That's exactly right. God, that just cheered me up wonderfully. Look, people use different tones and different accents and all the rest of it, but it's just kind of weird to watch go from I'm here and now I'm 10 feet to the left and I have a completely different voice.
Well, sometimes it's an unconscious decision too.
Oh, maybe.
Remember Becky, when she would call her family?
Yeah.
Because, when she came over, she's from Gloucester, which is
Gloucester.
like borderline Wales, not in England.
Yeah. I'm thinking about Gloucester.
Not that Gloucester, not that one. No, this is the real, the original Gloucester.
The real
which is like bordering Wales. So they have quite the accent over there. And when she came over here, she'd sound like any other British person, basically.
Yeah.
And then she'd call her dad, and it's like she's speaking some sort of alien language.
Yeah.
It's true.
Madonna did it. Madonna picked up a British accent when she was living over there.
Yeah,
and I personally think I don't have a Boston accent, but I do feel like when I go visit for a length of time, I feel like I slide into lazy R's. All of a sudden, I'm like, let's go to a Wicked Piss of Cake party. Let's do it, And I never spoke like that.
My mom used to tell me, no matter where I worked in the United States, because I went to school in Boston, I worked in New Hampshire, then I went and worked in Virginia, and then came back to California before I landed here. She said that I would pick up the accent of the region every place you work.
Yeah.
And part of that is if you're doing a broadcast to a particular region, you need to sound like the rest of the people in that region.
Yeah.
And so, the hot eyes in Boston would come through a little bit, not too much. A little bit in Virginia, I would also get, you're not from around here, are you?
You're a chameleon.
Yeah.
What station did you work at in Boston?
I went to school in Boston.
Oh, you're to school. Okay.
But I worked up at WENH TV in Plymouth, which is in the basement of the student union building of the University of New Hampshire.
God.
We
New
had
Hampshire.
a grand total of 8 people who worked in that news department.
Wow.
Kristyn, we're talking about Boston now, so she's at the edge of her seat, literally.
I know. I'm like, old school Boston is so good, And you have to say New Hampshire.
New
But I would ride on the green, but whenever you would ride the train in Boston to Harvard, that was so nice. It was red cars, red upholstery. It had beautiful things. Any place else when you were taking the public transportation, just beat up.
Yeah, the tea.
Yeah.
Not up. Look at you. Now we got you late again.
Oops,
Oh
sorry.
my goodness.
Way to go.
What are you going to do?
You look awfully happy today, though. That's good.
Yeah. When wasn't I happy?
Mom, I'm just going to talk
about
Kathryn.
Boston.
I'm going to say, hey, Kathryn, when you're on, she's not as happy.
You could start a war.
I'll start a war. It'd be great. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
See y'all tomorrow. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We'll take a break. Be right back. Diana Pierce, big shot.
Oh, I don't know.
I
don't think so.
We'll be right back.
From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Allie?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands free, but you can't have your phone in your hands for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Let's take a second, talk about my bank, North American Banking Company. As a business owner, you're always looking for opportunities to grow, and that's where North American Banking Company can help. Their business banking team offers tailored solutions, whether you're expanding your team, opening a new location, or upgrading equipment. Because they're locally owned, loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities, which means faster approval and more flexibility to meet your needs. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Visit nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We are back. I got your sheet right here.
Okay.
Let's see if I have not looked at it yet, because I want to see if you're doing things that I didn't know you were doing.
Really? I think I talked about this the last time we were together, but at that point I hadn't started my newsletter. So yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
Listen to this. Diana Pierce, national award-winning journalist turned storyteller and photographer. After decades anchoring the news. Decades?
Oh, I started in 1983.
And you left when?
I started in 1983 at KARE.
Yeah.
I'd been working well before that, before I got at KARE. And I left in 2016. Yeah.
Holy God.
32 years.
32 years.
Yeah, you were on the air longer than I was, though.
That's 37 years. Yeah. I mean, that went by quickly, though.
It did, didn't it?
It really does go by quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know. And both the businesses are not what they once were. So, I mean, I would like to go back and do some radio. I love doing this podcast with the family and all the rest of it. But, I would love to go back and pop on the air once in a while. But I guess a lot of these radio stations make no money anymore. People, I guess, listen to what they want to listen to.
Right.
I guess people over, what did I say, Andy, 42? People over 42 years old still listen to the radio, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
right.
always surprised when I get people who recognize me. But typically, they won't necessarily recognize me in person. But if I start to speak, they'll recognize my voice. And then if I say my name, then sometimes the things will click. But I'm shocked when somebody under the age of 42 recognizes me. Yeah, that puts it into my daughter's category. But still, I mean, that wasn't a part of their watching the 10 o'clock news necessarily wasn't a part of their deal. I was on the 10 o'clock with Paul Majors for 20 years.
20 years that was.
Yeah.
I just saw him on TV. He was doing something with Randy Shaver or something.
Oh, probably promoting Randy for his thing that he's doing with Star Tribune now? Maybe?
Yeah, I think maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Maybe that's what it's all about. But.
Yeah. So he came off the air and immediately went right to the Star Tribune. Well, not immediately. And now he's doing Prep Sports Exit for the Star Tribune.
But I mean, that's pretty shaky too, though, because the newspapers are not doing well at all.
Well, but they're really, people love sports. And they love sports.
Sports is the number one radio station in Minnesota. It's, K-Fan.
Yeah. And so, people will pay great money to go to any of the professional franchises.
Ask Tom how much he spends to watch sports on his television.
Which Tom are you talking about?
Yeah, gee, I wonder.
I don't know what you mean. That, by the way, I got to be honest with you about that. That is getting really old because you now go through you have to go through 100 channels to find what you want to watch because it moves over here and then it's over here. And then we're going to do it. Like,
Yeah.
my God.
And there are people watching those 100 other channels.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. No question about it. But I liked it back in the, you know, I want to see Don Shelby. It's on Channel 4. If I want to see anybody that I worked with over at Hubbard, that's Channel 5.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were, you know, passing everybody on Channel 11.
Mm-hmm.
I knew a couple of people at Channel 9, but
Mm-hmm.
they, toward the end of my radio career, they were the ones that turned on me like there was no tomorrow. They wanted to make sure he's nothing but trouble. It's like,
Oh my gosh.
whatever.
Yeah. You know.
As a matter of fact, I went to, whose funeral was it? I went to somebody's funeral. God, it was several years ago, whatever. And we were all there and hanging out. And it was Ron Rosenbaum.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Ron Rosenbaum.
Well, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
That's what I say. It was several years ago. Yeah. But I'm walking around saying hello to people and all the rest of it and laughing and joking and having a great time. And I think it was the program director, the director of the news at Channel 9. She came over and shook my hand as we're shaking hands. She introduces herself. I introduced myself and she freezes. She had no idea it was me,
Mm-hmm.
but she didn't want to be touching me either.
Oh,
It was hilarious.
wow.
Ron died
To
in
have that
2016.
translated through a handshake. That's amazing.
Oh God, yeah. He died in 2016.
Yep.
That was 10
It was 9 years ago, almost 10. It's like 9.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to
That's
say, I don't
also
think,
when time is flying right
Yeah.
by when you see something like
absolutely.
that
I was going
happen.
to say, I don't think it was just a few years ago because I remember going to that. Well, I don't remember going to the funeral. We went to his house like during his farewell thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
Because he knew he was going to die, so he had a bunch of people over to the house.
Yes.
And I remember I seeing him for the last time, and it had to have been almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago probably. He
Quite
used to come on the show
some
once in a while.
Mm.
When we were downtown. That whole situation.
Yeah, he had his own show that he did on our channel.
Yeah, he did.
I can't remember what it was called. That was a long time ago.
God, I just, Kathryn and I live out of town 7 months of the year, and then you come back and there are a couple, maybe even a few, but I don't even know most of the people on television news, the radio,
Mhm.
some of the people, the newspaper doesn't have any writers anymore, does it?
They all share one. Every newspaper in the
Yeah, I
country.
wouldn't doubt that's probably
Yeah.
cutting it back that much. But I guess radio did see AI coming, but I didn't think it was going to be that fast.
No one thought it was going to be this fast.
No, nobody thought it'd be that fast. Because, back in the day, you could hop in your car and put a disc in your car and
Right.
listen to whatever you wanted to.
Mhm.
But I don't even know, are discs even being sold anymore?
That's what they said with the cars.
like
There's no CD
CDs?
players
No, I
in the
don't-
cars
Oh,
anymore.
yeah,
I don't
that's right.
think my car has a CD player in it. No.
Mine's old enough that I still have one.
Yeah, there
Mine's a
you go.
2014, so yeah.
God,
Oh,
isn't that
yeah, so-
amazing?
Yeah, I know we have a bunch of car people in the chat. I wonder when they stopped putting CD players in cars.
Probably 2015. Yeah, I
'Cause it
think.
was tape players at first. You
Oh
had the
my
little
gosh,
cassette
I
Yeah.
remember cassette
Yeah, yeah.
players in
Yeah,
cars.
cassette
Yeah.
players in
Don't
cars.
haven't seen that in a while.
No. Oh.
I remember the cool stopgap that you used to do is, what was it? You would connect this thing to your iPod. So one end goes into the iPod and the
Mhm.
other end is a cassette tape.
Mhm.
And you put the cassette tape into the cassette player and it would play audio from your iPod
Mhm.
as if it were a cassette tape.
Really?
Very weird thing that only you have to be a very specific age to have any idea what I'm talking about.
I suppose that is true.
But
Was it a small cassette too? Or
it was
a
a
bigger one?
standard cassette.
Standard cassette.
because
okay,
you'd have to
yeah.
plug it into the cassette player because that's how audio
Oh.
got into the car.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know, Joe McFadden, when I was at Capitol Records, so this is 40 some years ago. Yeah, it was because I was working at Capitol when I met Kathryn. But I will never forget Joe McFadden, who was the market director, and I was head of promotion for Capitol Records. And he said, "You aren't going to believe what you're getting for Christmas." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Not even going to tell you. I'm not telling you what you're getting, but we got you a great gift, and everybody at the tower in LA wants to know if you loved it or what the situation is. So after Christmas, we'll talk about it." So I get home and there's a package about the size of this chest in front of us here, or I don't know what, maybe it's about 2 pieces of this couch. And I'm going, what the hell is this thing? And I picked it up and it weighed a ton. This package did. So I put it on the table and I open the box and I look in and I go, what the hell is this? I don't even know what this is. It was a cassette connected to your TV, a cassette thing. What would you even call that, Andy? Those gigantic cassette players.
Are you talking about a VCR?
Would that be a VCR? I guess that would be.
What was the function of this device?
It was to play tapes. Yeah,
like a VHS tape.
Like a VHS tape.
Like a movie.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be that's a VCR.
That's a VCR. Okay. Well, this VCR was about the size of your car.
Yeah.
It was one of the
they still kind of are.
Oh, are they really?
Well, I mean, a VHS tape by itself, it's got to be. They're like this big.
Yeah, they are.
This thick. You know.
I will never. You have to get going anytime.
No.
I just want to make sure.
No, I get phone calls in on my phone, which is, it feels like it's Dick Tracy time, and I don't like that. But whatever. Yeah.
Take a quick break. Be right back. Continue with Diana Pierce. Going to hear what she's doing these days. Staying busy.
Yep.
We'll be right back.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Pete Wolf, owner of Robinson Rubber of Robbinsdale.
I partnered with North American Banking Company because I was able to talk to the president, and I know they have my back. They are much easier to talk to than those larger banks. The openness and flexibility has been the best part of banking with North American Banking Company. They understand small to medium businesses. No matter what part of the bank I am working with, North American Banking Company has the latest technology and friendly staff. I would absolutely recommend North American Banking Company to any of my closest colleagues if they want to have peace of mind in their business.
So why not bank where I bank, with my friends at North American Banking Company? To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabanco.com. That's nabanco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's time for Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities are a place where your loved one will live with pride and dignity. If you care deeply about someone in your life, Wellshire is the place I highly recommend. Wellshire is a memory care focused facility, has a full nursing team, always staffed within the building, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They've never used or relied on any staffing agencies. Wellshire Medina now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. I know them personally. They are a family-owned local company conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They're the best staff memory care facility in the state. Wellshire has a robust community with activities 7 days a week. If your loved one is in need of a memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends. And again, I've known one of them for about 45 years, so they are my friends. And his son's a good kid, too. Set up a tour. Learn more at wellshiremn.com. That's WEALSHIREMN.com. We're back. We're rocking out, man. It's all true. Look at what came up. My entire page about you.
Yeah, because I put that together.
You put it
yesterday.
together.
It's the newsletter.
I put that to the
No,
newsletter.
that's not my newsletter. That just promotes it. So, yeah.
How it started. Ask me about what I'm wearing. Okay, we already talked about what you're wearing, didn't we?
No.
Oh, I guess we didn't.
No.
Well, I mean,
if you go to my blog and you see my 1-year anniversary blog, which would have been in August,
okay,
you'll see me with a bunch of stuff. And I have a head net on. And so if you've ever been up north and you've been attacked by mosquitoes, you'll find out quickly that in order to survive, you need a netting over your head, which is what I have on that picture. So that picture was actually taken at a Minnesota state park right next to Red Lake in Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's called Big Bog National Wildlife Preserve. And so went up there specifically to take pictures of lady slippers. They've got a bajillion of them up there.
Yeah.
And so, but in order to take that and to survive, I needed to wear that while I was taking these pictures. But that's, that's part of the setup. I will go to that length to make sure that I can take whatever I want to when it comes to flowers. So I've been out at the Arb when it's 18 below zero. I've been up at, at the Red Lake. So that's the other picture that's over on the left. This one of me standing there. That's at 18 below. Oh, you can't even see the picture there. But so it's 18 below zero. I've got every piece of whatever I can possibly wear from my closet on. Out there, we were out there for about 30 minutes, and I discovered that my battery on my camera lasts now for 20 minutes.
In the cold, yep.
In the cold,
God,
it started to die, but I got a few pictures, which is just fine. That was the whole point. And then the other one in the middle there is I went to a farmer. He grows peonies, and we were going through his field, and the shirt that I was wearing that day matched in exact, flower. So he says, come over here, we'll take your picture together, which we did. He goes, well, we don't have a name for that, so we're going to call that after you. So you'll be able to order Glorious Diana after January 1st, 2026. So that would be really cool. So
it is pretty amazing. Andy, you should take a look at this.
And then on the far other picture that's on, these are all pictures that are on my blog. But the other one is I had to stand on a 6-foot ladder to take a picture of an 8-foot tall dahlia. The person that I interviewed both this year and last year, he's 80 years old now. Arnie Sachs is his name. He's a retired mechanic, and just decided about 20 years ago that he was going to go from that to growing dahlias. He has won so many blue ribbons at the State Fair and at the Dahlia Society and a few others that he's starting to return them back to the club because he has so many. So he'll get it, he'll take a picture, he'll turn it back in.
Are they pretty? They're pretty big. Huh?
Oh my gosh, they're dinner plate size flowers.
Really?
Dahlias are. They can be, and his can be. So, for me, what I'm doing now, it's called Bloom With Me. It's my newsletter. It comes out once a week. So it just came out again this morning. I love taking all the chops that I got from, being a reporter all those years. Now I consider myself a flower correspondent.
You've swapped breaking news for blooming news.
Right.
Oh, see?
There you go. Right there. In that
there we go, Andy.
Thing. Yeah. So, So I get to interview fun people that you're never going to see in the newspaper written up. I get to interview and talk to people that you're just really not going to, find out too much. And there is an appetite for that. Anything that has to do with gardening, besides sports, gardening is a huge, type of recreational sport for some people.
Oh, yeah.
And I have an 8-foot by 8-foot patio. So I have nothing at this point because of the condo that I live in, patio home. So I have to go out and I have to take pictures of people and talk with them and that type of thing. So yesterday afternoon, I was at the Arb. They were picking pumpkins. They had all kinds of volunteers out there. So I was out there. Wells Fargo was in the morning. They had this other group that was out there. That's their day of service, all these companies for the Arb. And so their pumpkins are now going on display. They're building a pumpkin tree that will be on display out at the Arb. They'll put the finishing touches on Saturday.
And so the pumpkin exhibit's going to open when?
The Friday is when they start to. You go to the Arb, you'll start to see them start to set it up.
Right.
I don't know how tall this thing is. I assume that it's going to be 10 feet or no, it'll be more than that.
And my son is very into pumpkins and Halloween and all that sort of October-y stuff.
Now, I was told yesterday you could actually walk inside this pumpkin tree.
Wow.
So to me, that's going to be quite tall.
Huh.
So
I guess.
Yeah, we might have to go there and bring them.
Yeah. So they'll be constructing it on Friday, Saturday, and then they'll finish it off on Sunday sometime. But,
so by next week it'll be good
for
to
sure
go.
It'll be up. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then pumpkins, unless they get
Where's it
snowed on or
located?
whatever. Huh?
Where's it located?
Oh, this is the Arboretum. So
That's the Arboretum. Yeah. I love that place.
I know. Isn't it amazing?
It's one of the best. It probably is the best I've ever been to in the United States. It's really well put together.
Donnell says
Breaking
they have a
news.
Pumpkin Spectacular at the Minnesota Zoo.
Well,
That's
that's
another thing.
the other one. That's the other one. For them, though, the Arb now, breaking news, they're waiting to hear if Guinness Book of World Records is going to certify them for having a presentation with the most amount of different types of pumpkins that they have harvested this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
so
then.
it's over 700 varieties, I think.
Of pumpkins?
Yes.
I can
have
name
no
one.
clue.
Yeah.
Halloween type.
Halloween. Got
Halloween.
the eyes
That's,
cut out.
that you're
Halloween
kind
pumpkin.
of very
The
generic
orange
and very
one,
specific.
you know.
See, now you just gave me another great memory when I was a little boy. I think he was 5 and I would have been 9, I guess. My brother Todd decided that he was going to go as the Great Pumpkin.
Yes.
Only he also decided he was going to buy a huge pumpkin, hollow it out, and wear it on his head. the
Not a
whole
good
time.
idea.
Not
Little
a
heavy.
good idea.
Yeah.
That was not a good idea.
Oh, how far did he do?
I
How
think
far did he
a
go?
couple of blocks.
He did made it that far.
Yeah, he
Oh.
made it that far, which I was surprised.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's 5 years old. He's wearing this gigantic pumpkin on his head.
Wow.
Like, okay,
That's
Todd,
yeah.
nice job, pal.
improvement. Yeah.
So, have you always been interested in planting and flowers and trees and all that
I
stuff?
kind of come by it with, my grandmother was the tomato grower in our family. I mean,
Okay.
you name it, she had it. And then my brother, yeah, sadly he's passed on, but he then would have a garden plot and he had everything in it and he was fabulous. He knew all the organic fertilizers and everything else. A lot of because of what I was doing, I didn't have the time to work on something. And then I started taking, pictures, photography. Once I left Channel 11, 2016, I was doing a bunch of photography. And when I started posting it onto my Facebook page here about 3 or 4 years ago, I started putting all the little things I would find out about the flowers that I was taking pictures of. So I would have myths, about where these came from and what the Greeks thought of them or what the Egyptians thought of them and that type of thing. And so I got so much feedback from my followers on Facebook. It's like, okay, I'm going to do a newsletter here. So the thread for all of this has always been there. I can't say that I have the biggest green thumb in the world. I would say mine's a little
green thumb.
A little green thumb. Yeah, exactly. But I think that everybody gets joy from, seeing some of this stuff. I get excited about it. It's kind of like first thing I think about when I get up in the morning.
That's
and
wonderful.
it kind of propels me throughout the day. And I just, I'm having a good time. So why not, enjoy.
I mean, you look at that kind of thing and you're working with living organisms and all the rest of it. That's
Yeah.
pretty damn cool.
Mhm.
Actually.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
The thing that I posted today was, on my Substack account, it was a little bit, okay, this is how you're going to put your fall container together. So that's very important to a lot of people. Again, I don't have a big yard. I got to have a little garden in a container, right?
Yep.
So, but the other 2 articles are about how they're growing food in the Arctic Circle. They don't have trees up there, let alone
No.
anything else, but
Right.
they're growing food with
Really?
this indoor lighting system, the indoor watering system. They pay an exorbitant amount to have groceries flown into them.
Yep.
Because that's the only way they're getting stuff. But
God.
now under this program, it's a New York Times article that I have a link to. But this whole native community up there, they're all involved in it and growing stuff and feeding their families fresh, healthy produce. Otherwise, a loaf of bread costs $9 for them. It's just,
Mhm.
it's ridiculous the amount of price to get stuff up there.
$9 for a loaf of bread.
Bread, yeah.
Well, Hawaii's that way too.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah,
can't
I
grow a
suppose
whole lot
that's
because it's
true.
all volcanic soil. Certain things grow there, like in the Arctic Circle, nothing edible grows.
Nothing is happening up there.
But I wouldn't imagine
No.
you can grow a whole lot of wheat in Hawaii either. So
well, they're good for pineapple.
yeah, pineapples, coconuts.
And
You got your
sugarcane.
pigs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plenty of stuff.
Yeah. But
What more do you
no,
need?
when you're thinking of the Arctic Circle, so during the summer you've got sun 24/7, but you still have cold temperatures up there. So they do move some of their produce outside during the summer to be able to get the rays going. So that's a really cool story. The second story that I had there was from the BBC, and they have discovered this rare flower in Australia, to the point where they think there's only 3 or 4 blooms of them left at
Oh,
this particular.
God.
But this thing blooms underground. It does not need sunlight.
That's
What's
weird.
the point of blooming then?
Totally. Well,
What's the point of blooming?
well, but it still
I like
is
it.
part of a unique biodiversity, if that's what you want to call it, you
Yeah.
know? And so here it is, it's wherever it is in Australia, and it's got this thing, and this scientist has made it his life's work to track these things down, study the soil that they're in, figure out, you know, can they save that
Mhm.
flower from extinction? So, I mean, so to me, it's like finding this stuff or having people
Yeah,
send me
yep.
links. They did on the BBC story. They sent me that link. And so for stuff like that, I get really, it's like, oh, I'm nerded out. It's like, oh, okay. If I think it's cool, maybe somebody else will think it's cool too. And I'm already starting to get feedback from people. It's like, hey, I really like that story. So yeah, that's good. That's good. That's, hey, job complete.
All right. Well, we have one more break. Come back. One more segment. Do you mind talking about TV a little bit?
Sure.
Because
And-
I'm always fascinated by that whole situation.
And we can also
Okay.
talk about the Plymouth Artisan Market, perhaps,
Well, we could do that too.
No, that's a good idea. There
if you
go.
want to talk about that.
No, I can.
It's on your dealie here.
It's on my little flyer that I sent
Yeah,
to you
Nice
so-
guys.
flyer.
I would
Yeah.
imagine so.
All right, we'll take a very quick break, just one spot, be right back, and we'll talk about what it's like. I mean, because people ask me about how radio is. They must have asked you constantly about how TV is.
Yes,
Yeah.
still do.
And they still do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet, absolutely.
Still do.
It's an interesting world.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you end up talking to millions of people, and that, I suppose, fascinates most people.
I never really thought of the viewership in the millions. I know we had it.
Yeah, you did. Absolutely did.
I would talk to the camera. So in my mind,
Yep.
I was talking to one
Yeah.
person.
That's why it works so well, I guess.
Yeah, that's easy to handle. I mean, if you
Yeah.
stand in a stadium, which I had a couple
Oh,
of
yeah.
times,
It's a lot
Oh, yeah.
if I
different.
tell you what, your knees go weak. You
Mhm.
know,
They do.
They just do.
Even though technically there's fewer people watching you there than on TV.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
We can go into the break with this one. When I got fired from KQRS, the Minnesota Twins said, we'd like to honor you because you've been such a great Minnesota Twins fan for all this. And so we're going to have a Tom Bernard Day at the stadium.
Yeah, the first pitch.
I threw out the first pitch,
Oh, good for you.
which, by the way, went dead left into the bunker.
Oh, well, hey,
So
You probably should have practiced.
I probably should have. I gave it.
You get a little spin.
Well, I forgot because I was on a mound that your left foot is about this much lower than your right foot.
Oh.
So unless you adjust for that, it's going dead left.
Oh, well, there you go.
But I was just
Did they catch it?
the play. Herbeck was supposed to catch it.
Yeah.
After it went in the dugout, he looked at me like,
I'm not going for
Because he
that.
was, I'm not going to work that hard to go after that.
No, absolutely not. But those are the great things. You've been through that kind of stuff too. So,
Yeah.
so being in radio and television and newspapers back in the day, that was the three modes of communication
Sure.
where you got all your. The world has changed quite a bit. But yeah, I'd like to ask you a little about
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
We'll be back in just 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to me, your customers listen to me, and they'll hear me promote your business. The Tom Bernard Podcast attracts thousands of listeners who are loyal, engaged, and ready to support businesses they trust. Our podcast has helped numerous businesses increase traffic sales, brand recognition. We're not just about ads, we're about results. That's a big part of it. Whether you're a local business or a national brand, we offer custom advertising packages designed to fit your unique needs and goals. Our audience spans multiple demographics, allowing you to target your ideal customers with precision. From millennials to baby boomers and everyone in between. With the broad reach of the show, passionate following, your business will see increased visibility and awareness, translating into more customers and sales. So you ready to get started? Just visit tombernardshow.com, click on the partner tab, and let's discuss how we can work together to grow your business. There, my work is done for the day reading the spots. So your first year at Channel 11 was when?
1983.
Honest to God?
Oh, yeah.
Jeez, I thought it was like 20 years ago.
Yeah. No.
83.
In 1983.
Oh, God, that's amazing.
Paul came in from San Diego, Paul Majors.
Yeah, Paul Majors.
And
yeah.
then I came in from Fresno, California. They take two of us out of that.
Oh, okay.
And then they had already done, some focus groups on both of us. And so they hired Paul first. But they hired me within about a month or two later. I
Mhm.
came here in the middle of July for an interview. And then we were on the air in September of 1983.
September of 83. So I came to KQRS in April of 86.
Mhm.
Because I was living in New York. Kathryn and I were living in New York, but then we found out we were going to have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
There he is back there, and it's like, no, raising
Whoop, whoop.
babies.
I have changed since then.
Raising a baby in Manhattan was not something I wanted to do, or
Yeah.
Kathryn certainly didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I got back, and you know, Dave Hamilton called me one day and said, "Hey, you want to do a radio show?" And I said, "Yeah, that sounds good." I mean, the day Kathryn told me she was pregnant is the day Dave called me and said, "Hey, you want to get back into radio?" I'm like, well, I have to move back to Minneapolis, so I probably should do something like that. But that show, I mean, you were at KARE how many years?
32 plus years. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I was there 37 years. It was a different market then, wasn't it?
Well, they called that what the legacy years, and that's when CNN obviously was on the air, and so was Fox, but you know they didn't have the market share that they do today,
No.
and we didn't have the competition of everything that social media these days, and so we still had the habit of what they call appointment TV. You know, people just like they would tune you in the morning to listen. They would tune because they're on their way in and they're driving to work.
Absolutely.
And so they would tune us in at 10 o'clock at night. And so, you know, Paul's favorite thing to say was that we had a lot of people who we were in their bedroom, and they were watching between the toes, you know, because that's how they were watching their evening news at 10 o'clock.
Right.
And because we had a 10 o'clock show versus 11, which is West Coast and East Coast, we had the a lion's share of people still up and taking care of it before they tune out the light, you know, and get on with their, you know, next day.
The thing that was amazing about that is when I got back here and doing this, then the other thing, and I said, well, we should probably talk to some people about promoting the show or whatever. And they said, well, how do you want to do that? I said, well, I could, you know, go visit everybody at the TV stations and the newspaper and do all that stuff. And they said, radio people and TV people do not get along. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. And I said, what do you mean? They said, well, their radio's here and TV's here, and they just, maybe a couple of people do a couple of things. But I never found that to be true. I mean, there are still some people on the air that don't care for me, but that's a different deal. But I immediately, Paul and I used to hang out, and then, I don't know, I haven't talked to Paul in a long time. Have you talked to him at all?
Oh, he lives on Twitter, so if you ever want to talk to him.
Oh, he's on Twitter?
Yeah,
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, X, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm on. I've never seen him on there.
Oh, man,
That's weird.
Yeah, see, but the thing we would do is, and it was a ratings grab. We would go interview. We would have a reporter go and interview all the DJs.
Oh, yeah.
Around town.
Yeah.
Well, that was
And then
smart
that was a
back then.
ratings period. And it's
Yep.
like they're going to cross promote. They're going to be on television. We're going to cross promote them. And so we did that a couple of times.
You know what's funny about that? And this just occurred to me while I was talking to you. Very
we had
odd.
to have interviewed you.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
don't remember who would have done the report, though.
I don't remember who did the report either.
Yeah.
But I mean, some of my best friends in the business, like if you go radio people to television people,
Mm-hmm.
I had many more friends in television than I did in radio.
Mhm.
I suppose we were direct competitors. So that kind of changed everything.
To me, it was always about timing. Is my schedule going to allow me to meet people that are in a different
Yeah.
time slot than I am? I mean, people kind of assumed in television that all television people knew all the rest of the anchors.
Right.
You know, and probably same with
Right.
you. You would know
Yep.
all the rest of the folks on the air. And for me, that was never true unless we were at an event and I had a chance to meet somebody else from another
Right.
station. The only time I would see them was like everybody else on the air. I did meet Stan Turner in person.
Stan was a good guy.
He was a good guy, just passed away.
Just passed away. Yeah.
And so we were in 1984, we were at the GOP convention down in Dallas. And so he was reporting for 5, I was reporting for 11. And I didn't know this, but we were staying at the same hotel. And so we wrapped up, we did whatever we did. And we both ended up in the bar that night. And we just sat there and talked. You know, I think he had a beer, I had a glass of wine. And we
Right.
just, you know, hey, nice to meet you. You know, and I'd only been in town for a year and he was complimentary and it was so nice. I know that when I landed here for my interview, I was at a hotel downtown Minneapolis. And so I turned on the weekend news. Up pops Marcia
Fleur.
Fleur.
Yeah.
And I was watching her and I thought the first thing was like, oh my gosh, if she's their weekend anchor, what am I going to do to be a Monday through Friday anchor?
She was terrific.
She was great.
She was.
And
Nice person.
I thought, well, I will never last in this market when you've got that kind of talent. Stan Hubbard used to buy the front of a magazine called Broadcasting Magazine.
Yeah.
So
right.
he always would buy the front cover of it.
Right.
So the KSTP team, whoever it was, de jour, would be on the front of that. And so I knew about this market and all the other markets I worked in before I got here because of that magazine and seeing, the ads that he would. So to me, it was always a great journalism market to come to.
Oh, yeah.
And so the fact that I was tapped to come in and do the interview was fun. They flew me in. At the time that they were doing that, there was a Seattle station that was also interested, but they flew me here and it's like, okay, you want to come? And it's like this year round. And it was like right during the Aquatennial time. Yeah. It's like, okay, sure. I grew up in Boston. I went to school in Boston, so I was kind of used to cold winters, but I wasn't used to these winters, but yeah, that's okay.
It does get cold here in the winter. There's no question about that. But
yeah.
Do you think, because I think in radio, it's definitely true. Do you think that Minneapolis-St. Paul is one of the top markets for television news?
Always has been.
I thought so. Yeah.
Always has been.
It's phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
this town for being up in the middle of
Right.
people love to bring up to me when I meet them there from wherever. It's like, man, you live in the only city that's north of Toronto.
Right. Well,
I said, yes, that's true.
unless you want to go to Anchorage, but okay.
Yeah, you can go to Anchorage. That's true.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
But we are way north of Toronto.
Yeah.
Quite a ways. But yeah, those situations I would tune in and watch you guys from person to person. And like I said, I developed, Don Shelby, I adore that. I can actually say I love Don Shelby. He's one of my favorite people I've ever met in the world.
I will tell him when I see him tomorrow.
Oh, you can see him tomorrow?
I'm going to see him tomorrow.
Don't tell him I said that.
No, he'll love to hear that. We're in a radio play.
Man.
So it's for the Broadcasting Hall of Fame. So that's coming up in October.
Oh, you're doing that? Yeah. They did it last year for, God, I can't remember who it was
Same
for.
group. Same group. Yeah, Broadcasting Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Dave Lee writes a lot of the stuff.
Yeah. And
Dave's a really good guy, too. Yeah, there's another guy.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of jerks in the business. There are a couple, I suppose, maybe, but we just worked with Rick Kupchella.
Yeah.
All these different people come in and I don't see, like I said, there are a couple of guys that I know very well don't care much for me, but it's, I don't know, whatever.
You know what? I think in order to be here for a while, you have to be yourself, number one.
Yeah, you do.
But number two, you have to get along with as many sides as possible. Still being yourself, but you know what? Because everybody else's voice is viable. So, let's try and work together on that stuff. And there will be times when you won't be able to get the other side, whichever side, you won't be able to get the other side's point of view, because they don't want to talk to you. If you tend to work with some folks, they won't want to work with you, but that's okay. One of my funny things was I was working with a hospital, not to be named, and they had set it up for somebody to meet to interview because the story is going to be blah, blah. I got into their office and the guy who's my photographer was just kind of bringing stuff in, trying to step up. And this guy sat me down, a doctor, and he said, "This is how it's going to be."
Okay.
You're gonna interview me. You're not going to edit the interview. And these are the questions that I want to answer. And I just looked at him and I said, "This is a newscast. Of course it's going to be interviewed, or we're going to edit this." And he says, "Okay, we're done." And I said, "Wait, we're done?" He goes, "Yep, pack your things up and leave right now."
Oh, God.
And so the photographer's walking in and I said, "Hey, let's turn around. We got to leave right now." Go back to the station. I get back to the station. I said, "Funniest thing I've ever happened. I've never had anybody shut an interview down that the hospital arranged."
That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, you got to come back one of these days. This is wonderful because Kathryn, I'm sure, is going to really regret missing you. She's a big fan of yours. I think you know that.
One quick plug. All right.
Okay, here
Meet
you-
me in person, Plymouth Artisan Market, Saturday, November 22nd. I'm going to have my, here we go. We're going to have these for sale. Big plug.
There you go. Big plug. Well, thanks for coming, but definitely come back.
Oh, yeah. You're delightful. This is.
I'm delightful,
yeah,
Andy.
Andy,
You
yeah.
hear that?
I have heard that.
I'm
I have heard
fascinated about how you got this thing set up.
He
So this is
did
good.
the whole. He built
you-
this whole thing.
Andy, you have to come over to my house.
Andy built this.
Oh, you got to get a
whole thing.
studio in your house too?
No, I don't have one. No, I want to set one up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go, Andy.
It's a lot of
You're
sound
in.
paneling, as you can tell.
I can tell.
It depends on the room. That vaulted ceiling did not help things.
No, because it comes right back at you.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I have a very short ceiling.
That's good for a studio.
That actually is good for a studio. All right, we'll come back soon.
Yeah, okay.
And if somebody wants to reach out to you, how do they do that?
Diana at dianapierce.com.
Easy enough.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks.
Bye.
See, that was so pleasant.
Every time I hear the same reminds me how you talking my door.